Hello! Welcome back to 3 Delirium. My name is AJ, and last week I said that we'd touch back onto the truck model that we positioned and sliced in the slicing software. But there has been a little change of plan. There's one set of the parts that just don't seem to want to print properly. It's the engine and fenders set for those truck pieces that I've tried 3 times now, and I just can't quite get it to print properly. So I also made the realization that the completed model of the truck also has many parts that I'm actually meant to print duplicates of, like multiple exhaust pipes and multiple axles and the like. So I'm going to have to hold off on the truck for another video, but in the meantime, I want to showcase another of the wonders of having a 3D printer. So during one of these long sessions of waiting for this print to finish, I had the idea to help myself keep track of points that I would use in Warhammer when I'm playing. So back in 2018, when I first ever began to think about 3D printing, before I even considered buying my own printer actually, I found a fab lab in the city in which I was living at the time, a fabrication laboratory. This is a business that merely has a bunch of 3D printers, and I'm meant to supply my own computer and SD cards and that kind of thing. I had begun to dabble in 3D design using the program SketchUp, which I've showcased a few times on previous videos, but my first print here at the Fab Lab was a die holder that had space for holding one die, but I could use 2 different sizes of dice. And I believe I have a picture of it right here. This week, I intend to elaborate on this idea by making one device that will hold 3 separate values of dice all at one time. I want a space to hold one die and 2 separate spaces for holding 3 dice. Let's see what we can come up with. The miracle that is 3D printing allows me to have this idea enter my brain in the morning, and I can have a finished product in my hand in the evening. And as I've said, the idea popped into my head randomly one day, and I can remember that when I'm playing Warhammer, I always fail to remember, for example, what turn it is, or how many victory points I had towards winning, or the number of command points I have, the resources I can use to kind of benefit my army. Now, I want 2 different sizes of spaces to represent the 2 different major sizes of dice that I own. Now, first I started by creating an example of each die and just setting that off into the corner. Then I knew that I wanted the smaller size die to sit almost flush with the top of the holder, and the larger die would stick out about halfway up on the die itself. Then it was just a matter of positioning them on the large block that made up the body of the holder and adding some label text. Now, the key to the text leads me to the main intention and kind of the main focus when making this project is I wanted the whole thing to be multicolored when it was done. Now, my first aim at changing the color of the text came when I made the text inset, when I made it as deep as it actually is. The extra depth meant that I had more leeway and kind of give when it comes to timing my pausing of my machine to swap out the filament mid-print. Now, I've seen the function on the little menu bar to swap out the color of the filament, but I haven't just used it quite yet. So, upon slicing my creation here, I wanted to see how the project will look when I do pause it. And so I was just kind of playing around with the slider bar that shows that. And as a lucky accident, I happened to notice that there are actually time codes on the little progress slider. So I can just literally see when the print will be at the exact height that I want to swap. And I could just set an alarm. I want the bottom few layers of the text to be one color, and then the top be contrasting darker color. And after going over in my head which colors I had an abundance of, I decided on orange and black. So now it's just a case of pressing print and setting that timer. Well, I went through all the steps that I previously mentioned, and it actually just finished printing mere minutes ago. So here's what I've turned out with. I'm actually quite happy. It looks pretty dang good. You can see the orange underneath the black. Now, there is a little bit of like deformation in the corner here where it started to pick up. But for the most part, being able to use the isopropyl alcohol whenever I'm cleaning off the build plate has really helped me so much. Now, I guess now is the moment of truth. I haven't actually tested whether or not the dice fit. So here we have my dice bags, and we'll try the smaller dice first. Actually, it's a pretty good fit. So we have a die stuck in. It's actually not coming out. That's exactly why I was gonna... Now, when I first designed this in my head, I wanted to have holes in the bottom so I can like easily just kind of boop, push it up through and it would come out easily. And when I was making it, I had completely forgotten about that part. And then I hit publish and print and didn't think of it until just now, pretty much. So the bigger size dice might be the way to go. So you can see I've got one that sits kind of up out of there, and actually that's a really tight fit as well. I could set them in here also. So we have we have three side by side. Look at that. All right. I'm really liking the look and feel of having the bigger dice in it, actually. Oof. Beautiful. They all fit. The bigger dice fit perfectly. And again, I like the black and orange. I'm a fan. Cool. Well, what do you think? Do you like the black and orange? Do you, if you play Warhammer or similar games, do you think something like this might be useful? Or do you think I should be saying one die, many dice, or one dice, many die? You tell me which one you say down in the comments down below. And, you know, we'll see what kind of feedback we get on that one. Anyway, thank you for joining me here at 3 Delirium, where we can all hallucinate about the possibilities of 3D printing. And I'll see you next time, maybe with that truck.